It is the voice of Indiana County. It's WCCS 101.1 FM and AM 1160, our conversation with our Indiana County Commissioners, brought to you by Marcus and Mack, voted best personal injury law firm in the Best of Indiana County contest. Marcus and Mack, a law firm representing injured people. In the studio with us this morning, Mike Keith and Robin Gorman. On the telephone with us is Sherene Hess. And Sherene, I guess we should tell folks why you are not in the studio today. You've got some other business going on, too.
Yes, I'm at the Conservation District, and we have a board meeting today, and so the logistics of today just worked out that it would be better if I called in. And I just want to let the listeners know I'm with the turtles. I'm in the turtle room this morning, so we have some extra visitors today.
That is.
They know the room that is. They're in the turkey room because they're here with me.
Oh boy, lots of wildlife.
Yeah,
all good.
There you go. All right, so let's talk with our commissioners this morning. And Sherene, since you're there at the Conservation District, maybe we should talk about some of the roles that you play within the county, and that as a member of the county commissioners, obviously. You're with the Conservation District now, but that's not so far removed from what you do as a commissioner, is it?
No, it isn't. Conservation District is an important element of our economic development scheme in Indiana County and every county. And we're pleased this year the Conservation District celebrated its 75th anniversary, which is a major accomplishment. It's one of the oldest, one of the top 5 oldest districts in the state. And we're just so proud of all the things that the district has done. The county's made a huge investment in our conservation district because we value our agricultural producers, and we value the necessity of keeping development moving forward. With all the things that the district does in terms of sediment and erosion control. And agriculture is a very important part of our economic development plan. And so it's really, I'm not the only commissioner who cares deeply about conservation here. We're all in it together. But it's been my pleasure to be the chair of the district board, and we have a fantastic board of directors and a wonderful staff. And in fact, there's new programs from the federal government. We're getting an extra couple of $1 million actually, and we just hired a person who's going to help coordinate all the programs that will come about from a lot of money for agricultural producers. To do best practices on their farms. And so we're looking forward to exciting things happening with the district in Indiana County.
Absolutely. And let's bring our other commissioners in on this conversation. Mike Keith, of course, in your lifetime, you've spent a fair amount of time in the rural area, haven't you?
Actually, northern part of Indiana County. And when you travel out throughout the county, you actually see a lot of agriculture business being performed. Yeah, again, like Sherene said, agriculture in Indiana County is big. It's a big economic value for our area, and we continue to support it, and we will continue the efforts through the Conservation District to make best practices.
Yeah, absolutely. Robin, you should weigh in on this as well.
Well, I grew up a farm girl, and I worked hard on the farm, and I really appreciate that kind of life very much. So I agree. Our farmers are good people. They work hard. They have issues just like anyone else with regard to their business. So, whether that's, the runoff into creeks and things, depending on what they do as far as whether it's a grain or a soil issue or whether it's an animal type of thing. And the Conservation District is just awesome in helping our farmers with resources and tools and management, and we appreciate them.
Yeah. My only regret about farm life is that the era of the round bale came in after I was done slinging around square bales for all those years.
I know what you mean.
We won't talk about that. That was hard work.
Let's move on to some other county business as we near the end of the year. I know that it's a key time of the year, isn't it?
That it is. Actually, tomorrow is our commissioners meeting, and we will be approving the 2023 budget. I'm actually pretty pleased as far as how this year went as far as preparing the budget. It was a different way of preparing the budget because we had bought new programming to help us forecast, like I said, for future projects and planning. But and it actually, in a way, made it easier because the old way we used to do the budget and everything through the Munis program, which we continue, we've actually worked it over into what we call a ClearGov program, and it actually details much, finite the items and everything that we're looking at. But in description, it gives you a better understanding of how and why things are in the budget and just where they fall in line.
Mm-hmm. Robin?
Yeah, all three of us sat together yesterday and did the final review, and we were pleased. It's not been easy. Budgeting is very difficult, but we're very proud. We not only completed a balanced budget with no tax increase, we did so many things this year. We did a compensation study of our non-union county employees, and we just finished that up. So we were able to tie that into our budget and know that our people that work hard across this county are fairly compensated for what they do. Mm-hmm. And it was important for us to communicate that to them across the board. Of course, we did our open house for the first time ever, and we had a lot of people come into the courthouse. And some people even, trying to talk to us about budget with regard to, we understand it because we're in it, but how to lay it out and how to help people understand, well, what is debt and how much debt are we carrying and what's that for,
Sure.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the whole infrastructure issues and what kinds of things we directly invest for county government, and then how do we put money through grants and other resources that come to us in infrastructure and the things that we do. Like we were talking about the other day, the county is a big entity to serve, and there are multiple layers. So
yeah. Sherene, let's get your thoughts on the budget as it comes up for the vote tomorrow.
Well, I would echo what my colleagues are saying, that it was an interesting process, and I've been through a number of these, and we all have. And it's been a very, huge challenge because of the, circumstances of the last few years. And not that it wasn't always a challenge, but that was an extra special element of challenge. But I think our constituents should know that we worked very hard with our department heads and our partner agencies to make sure that we can continue to provide the quality and quantity of services without increasing, the expenses or keeping them in line as much as possible. And I think that it's an important consideration that we keep keeping these services where they are, but also looking with having an eye to the future of how are we going to do more economic development that helps our constituents with jobs and good quality conditions for and amenities for people who maybe want to move here, and community planning and in public safety and making sure that our courts and correction systems are all properly resourced and our human services. So it is a challenge, but I think we stepped up to the moment and met that challenge. And future years are going to be continue to offer us challenges, but we're committed as a team to making sure we do right by the constituents of Indiana County.
Commissioners Robin Gorman and Sherene Hess and Mike Keith joining us this morning in the studio and in Sherene's case on the phone. Sherene, as we get into 2023 then, are there certain priorities that you have that you want to see addressed?
Well, sure. I mentioned the conservation district, and it's part of a number of things related to making our county, sustainability, and that's sort of a buzzword that you hear these days, but it's all about making sure that we do things now that can preserve the ability to continue doing those things in the future. So we want to keep on working on the environmental things that keep our streams and our creeks and all those bodies of water clean so that we can offer, the things that come out of that, good tourism opportunities and so on. We know that our airport is working hard to make improvements so that it can continue being part of that economic development plan that we have. At the jail, we are making some improvements there to make sure that it is operating at optimal conditions. We just hired a new warden, so we're very pleased about the future of that operation. Got a good, strong team there. So I could look at every department. Our human services are running at top notch. We've got all the challenges that you ever have as a county with, food assistance and housing and substance use issues with our constituents. We want to keep all those services strong. So every department we have is looking at continually improving. And so that's what I'm looking forward to in 2023. Just keep that momentum going, keep our trajectory heading to the positive outcomes that we are seeing this year and hopefully continue to see.
All right. Thanks, Sherene. Robin, what about you? What's 2023 look like for you?
Sherene said it very well. And top of my list is obviously to continue the broadband and infrastructure issues to help our county grow, especially, sort of shovel ready, if you remember that term, when the dollars start to flow, that we're ready to use them and put them to work in our county. And obviously workforce is at the top of our list. Really trying to help our businesses sustain, since that's a word that Sherene uses. And, that's been my whole life, is how do you sustain, succession plan, keep the talent, keep it going, keep your company running. So I'm anxious to really fill that gap this year, we hope, and sort of bring some workforce either back into the workforce, because we do know now there are a lot of studies coming out. People made different choices to step out of work during COVID, and they've not come back. So that's concerning.
Yeah, absolutely. Mike Keith, when I throw out a question like that, a blanket question, they say it everything, and then all you really have to do is say, "Yeah,
Yep.
me too." But I know there's more on your mind than just that.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is we're going to continue on our facilities. We still have a long way to go, but the updates. And not only that, with what we're doing in the future, I also want to, step back and realize what the savings are after these updates. For instance, like the HVA system, what we're saving with the new system versus what we were paying. The other thing I'm excited about is the coroner's office, and we'll get more in detail as we get to this thing. But that is what I call a new revenue stream to the county's budget. This is something never seen before. So again, kind of excited about that project, finishing up, getting it on board and moving forward. And not only that, now we're going to move forward to other new revenue streams and look for those opportunities, because we got to keep on finding a way to feed that budget. It's not always reaching in your pocket and making the taxpayer pay more. We've got to do our part to help that offset that cost, and we're going to continue doing that.
I think we have to have a separate segment about what's happening, because that's very exciting with what the coroner's office is going to be
it's
able
amazing.
to do.
And it seems like every time that we go out there and sit down to discuss what the future, somebody else has a new idea to put into the play of this mix, and it's just fantastic.
Yeah. Well, and that's the way to look at it. Is here comes a challenge, but here comes an opportunity as well.
Yep, most certainly.
Well, there you go. We've got a lot of work ahead of us in the year to come in 2023. As always, it never slows down.
Yep.
And we're hearing some interesting things on the power generation front as well. Sherene Hess, thanks so much for visiting with us. Robin Gorman, Mike Keith as well.
On behalf of the commissioners to the residents of Indiana County, happy holidays.
Beautiful. All right, everybody, have a great holiday, okay?
Thanks, Todd.
All right,
Take care.
Bye-bye. It is the voice of Indiana County. It's WCCS 101.1 FM and AM 11.